This is the Family Playbook, the show about your role in the family at every age. Your hosts are Robbie and Terry, both 15 every week. They figure out what is fair and what is expected as you grow up.
Welcome back to the Family Playbook, the show about your role in the family at every age. I'm Terry.
And I'm Robbie. And today we're asking the big question, when exactly does a kid become independent, and is there actually a schedule for that?
Spoiler alert, there kind of is. And it's more science than your parents just randomly deciding you're ready.
Right? Like, it's not just vibes. Researchers actually track this stuff, and the timeline might surprise you.
So let's start at the very beginning, not birth, but around age 2, when toddlers first start saying, I do it myself.
That's called autonomy development, and it's the brain literally wiring itself for independence. Your toddler self was already pushing back.
By around age 6 or 7, most kids can handle basic self-care, dressing themselves, pouring cereal, managing a morning routine solo.
Which honestly, some adults I know still struggle with, but no names.
Then comes the big one, around age 10. Kids start making real judgment calls without running every decision by a parent.
That's when the prefrontal cortex starts getting serious about decision making, though it won't fully develop until around age 25.
25, so technically none of us are fully cooked yet, including our parents when they were teenagers.
Which explains a lot of family photo albums, honestly.
Now legally, independence milestones are all over the place depending on where you live.
In the United States, most states allow kids to be left home alone around age 10 to 12, but fewer than half the states actually have a law spelling that out.
So in a lot of places, it's just a judgment call, which is kind of terrifying when you think about it.
The driving milestone is almost universally 16 in the US, though some countries set it higher. You can't drive solo in the UK until 17.
And in Germany, you can get a learner's permit at 15, but only drive with a parent in the car until 18.
Meanwhile, teens in the Netherlands are just cycling everywhere and honestly thriving.
Financially, the independence timeline is slower than most people expect.
Studies show that about 40% of young adults in the US still receive financial help from their parents well into their mid-20s.
And that number went up after 2020, which makes sense given housing costs and everything that happened economically.
So if you're 23 and your parents still spot you grocery money, that's actually pretty normal right now.
Emotionally is where it gets really interesting, though, because emotional independence is a whole separate track from the legal or financial stuff.
Psychologists talk about something called differentiation. It's when you can hold your own opinions and values even when your family disagrees.
And that usually peaks in late adolescence, somewhere between 16 and 20, depending on the person.
So this is literally the age where we're supposed to be figuring out what we actually think, not just echoing our parents.
Which is uncomfortable for everyone, by the way. Research shows that healthy conflict between teens and parents is actually a sign things are going right.
So the next time you argue with your mom about something, just say I'm developing differentiation and see how that lands.
Do not do that.
Definitely do that.
One milestone people don't talk about enough is social independence, choosing your own friendships without parental steering.
That typically kicks in around age 12 to 14, which lines up with middle school being the social thunderdome that it is.
The interesting thing is kids who are allowed to navigate friendships themselves with some parental guidance from a distance tend to develop stronger social skills.
Hovering actually slows that down, which is something researchers have been saying loudly since at least the early 2000s.
There's a concept called scaffolding where parents give just enough support to help a kid stretch, but not so much they do it for them.
Like a good spotter in the gym, there, if you need them, not bench pressing for you.
And that balance looks different at every age, which is why there's no single magic moment where independence just happens.
It's more like a long series of small handoffs from parent to kid over about 2 decades.
Some happen fast, some take longer than expected, and some kids need more time on certain things, and that's genuinely okay.
The research is pretty clear that pushing independence too fast creates anxiety, but holding on too long creates the same problem.
So the sweet spot is letting the kid lead, with adults paying attention and adjusting.
Which sounds simple and is apparently very hard based on the number of books written about it.
Thousands of books, entire industries. Your parents did not get a manual.
Nobody did, and yet here most of us are, figuring it out one milestone at a time.
That's actually kind of reassuring when you think about it.
It really is. Independence isn't a destination, it's a whole ongoing negotiation between you and the people who raised you.
And the fact that you're curious about it, thinking about it, probably means you're already more self aware than you realize.
Thanks for listening, stay curious about your own story, and see you next week on the Family Playbook.